Amazing. Welcome everybody, and I'm going to hand straight over to Shannon.
Yeah, hello everyone. So if you are excited for this call, I want to see a big fat yes in the chats. I know lots of us have been counting down to it. So first of all, well done for jumping on. Obviously, we know it's a bank holiday. And this is going to be a mega kickstart. Okay, there's lots of yeses. That's great. This is going to be a mega kickstart call to September. And also, we've obviously still got tomorrow. I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the last day of the end of the month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So well done for getting on, everyone. If you've not already, run and get a notepad and a pen, turn off your phone, concentrate, because it's going to be an unreal call, particularly on mindset and lots of exciting things. So I'm going to pass over to Zara just to introduce one of our guest speakers tonight, but definitely any notes, just get them written down, start tagging your teams, make sure they're on, and let's go.
Okay. So I am obviously mega excited, trying to contain myself, but I've had a grin from ear to ear all day. You guys know how incredibly lucky we are to have Jeff as our mentor, and he's got an amazing guest speaker for us this evening. I've even been speaking to some of the leaders in Juice Plus in the UK, and when I've mentioned that we've got Jeff, we've got you, everyone's been really like, oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. So yeah, just as Shannon said, up, take it all in, and just if you're excited tonight, pop a thank you in the chat as well, just to say how pleased we are to have Jeff on as our mentor. And I'm going to hand over to Jeff.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you. It's my honor, it's my pleasure, and it's my privilege to be with you on the call tonight. I'm calling in from my home here in Sarasota, Florida, and I have a very special guest this evening for you. It's a real treat. Cheryl Cortese, I met almost 34 years ago. I think she was 12 at the time when I met her. But Cheryl and I have worked together now for almost 34 years. And Cheryl is the highest paid female earner in our company in the world. She is a recipient of the Founders Award, which Jay Martin, the president and founder of our company, it's the highest honor that he gives to somebody in the field every year. And Cheryl and I have worked very closely together. And, Cheryl is one of my best friends in the world. One of the things about this business, guys, is yes, we can do very well financially, and we can go out there and make a difference in the world and do something that's cause-oriented, mission-driven, and, just make a difference. But the relationships, the long-term relationships equal long-term success. And Cheryl and I just can't speak highly enough of her. I love her. She's one of my best friends, and we've had just an incredible journey. And I'll have Cheryl share her story with you if you would, but please help me welcome Cheryl Cortese. Cheryl?
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I couldn't be happier than to be here with you all. Jeff and I had a little chat earlier with Sarah and Shannon, and we were saying, oh, I love their energy. Let's go over there and work with them. Okay, so here we are, as close as we can be. It's working with you on virtual. But I think was about 8 years old when we started. And so we've been doing this since we were little kids. At any rate, it is a joy and a pleasure for all these 34 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 34. But when I started with Juice Plus Company, things were seemed much more difficult. They definitely were. My background is that I was in education. I taught at one of the universities in South Louisiana, which is where I'm from. Before that, I taught kindergarten. I'm a mom. I have 2 children, but they're grown now, of course. I have a grandson, and so I live out here in Los Angeles now because they all live here instead of living in Louisiana. But at that time, my kids were middle school, and I was suddenly single and in an economy that was just really falling apart. Our whole livelihood was through the petroleum, oil, and gas business. And when that moved to the Middle East, everybody's jobs went with it, and all the things that you see in economic disaster began to happen. People lost their jobs, they lost their homes, many marriages came apart, and mine was one of them. And both my parents were gone by that time, so it was very frightening. I couldn't just take my children and go home. I had to figure out how I was going to keep us afloat, you might say. Teachers in Louisiana don't make very much. And I knew that if I was going to be above struggle, I really had to find something to bring in additional income. And I came across this company through Jeff. As he said, he looked like one of my children, actually. He was quite young. And so I thought, well, what could he possibly know about all the difficulties in life? But it turns out he was a lot wiser than his years, I think. And he was a wonderful mentor, really great for me as far as helping me just begin to get a vision that there could be more to life than just struggle or trying to make ends meet. And so, something that was going to be very part-time, by the end of that first year, I realized that I was in love. I was in love with the product. I was in love with the people. I loved that it was a people helping people business. I loved that the marketing plan of all things, whoever thought? I didn't know that I would even understand that. And I just fell in love with the whole thing. And so I decided that this would be my full-time career. After a year, I just thought, well, I could do this all day, every day. And it's not been without, like everybody, there, things that come up that are disappointments, or, there are struggles every now and then. But if I look at the overall picture, it's just been an amazing joy and journey, and continues to be. So I thought, and Jeff, you can step in here anytime. We've worked together for a long time, so we're used to interrupting each other. But at any rate,
Cheryl, would you tell them how many marketing directors do you have on your team, and what type of volume do you do every month?
Okay, well, I started out wanting to, first of all, buy my daughter a prom dress and then try to make extra money. Today, our organization, as an organization, we market over 10 million. I think we're close to 12 now, $12 million worth of Juice Plus every month. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 200, it's between 210, 220 national marketing directors, because they keep adding on. Okay. And so you really, thanks to Jeff, I'll never forget when he said, you don't want to think just next door or across the street or across town. We're going to think across the world. And it was a vision for me that I don't know if I would have had that not been, clearly stated with confidence and conviction. And so today it does cover the world. And, my whole goal is, how much bigger can it be? Because it is something that brings health and, prosperity to people. And those are two very basic needs that, everyone, especially now, immune strong. We were talking about that earlier. No matter what, your body is challenged with, immune strong is so important. And we have that to offer. So Jeff, I'll just go ahead and tell them a little bit about, how my business kind of has gone together and come together over this past few years, if that feels good to you all.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful, Cheryl. Please do. And you've had the psychology of success and some areas that you wanted to talk about. Some success tips would be wonderful.
Okay, well, I'll do that. And, I love this. I really enjoy the whole adventure. But, if we look at what's foundational as far as success, now, I'll just share a little story with you to start. I have had the same assistant, not that that's needed, but it has been a blessing. The same person has worked alongside of me as my assistant for 33 of the 34 years. And she puts together the calls and things that we do. And not long ago, someone asked her, she said, what do you think the reason is that, there's been so much success over the years? And she said something very simple, but I think very powerful. And it was kind of right off the top of her head. She said, we get up and go to work every day. We dress up, go to work every day. And so basically what she's saying, and what I believe to be true, if I look back over the years, is we treat this as a very serious business. We give it the, I guess you would say, the respect of the power that this business can be. That it is something that can bring untold return if treated in the manner in which it deserves. So if I look at what has been foundational, first of all, I have a really strong work ethic and I'm committed to a positive outcome. So I'm going to encourage you from day one, your mindset. We really, our whole lives are lived in our minds. And so you're in control of that. And that's something that I've learned over the years, is that the mindset has so much to do with the outcome. So be committed to success, expect success, expect it. And that's something that I really got from Jeff. I mean, he expected it. So, you know, it showed up. So really, it's just the respect of what this can be, a multi-million-dollar business. And I certainly didn't have that vision when I started, but I grew into it relatively quickly as time went on there in the beginning. So you want to have a strong and serious business mindset and employ yourself at a high level. I employed myself at a high level because I wanted to be paid at a high level. And so what that means is consistent activity. So we'll talk a little bit about just your, you know, your personal self-image from a business standpoint. So you need to clearly identify your own professional image. How do you see yourself professionally? So we're talking about, we know that our product is amazing. We could talk about that for hours, and I've not missed it a day in the almost 30 years we've had it, and it's really given me my edge health-wise. We could talk about our marketing model, it's great, but really the you part is so important. So how do you see yourself professionally? I see myself as a team builder. You know, my objective is to put my arms around as many people as possible, to, you know, invite into my team and encourage them to do the same thing, because together we'll reach the consumer in that manner. I see myself as a team builder, and I'm working at it. I'm good at it, and I'm getting better every day. I'm sharpening the sword every day, okay? So my job really is to go out and search out the best in the land and put together a winning team. And so that to me is the focus. So the other thing is, how do you feel about what you do? What is your feeling about the profession that you're in? Because people are going to listen to your feelings before they hear your words. And it's something that we transmit to one another, whether we realize it or not. I'm really proud of the job I do. I'm proud of the company that I'm with, their values. I feel like my values align with theirs. I'm proud of the profession that I'm in. I think this is an amazing profession and will become more prevalent worldwide as people become more restricted in what and how they move about the world. I love the marketing model we represent. And this has always been a surprise to me. I know Jeff can tell you, like, I was scared of the numbers. Okay, what do all those numbers mean? When you start putting dollar signs in front of them, they get a lot easier to understand. So just put a few dollar signs in front of them. And together, you want to cast a big vision. And I think this is very important, you know, helping people see the magnitude of what we have. And so I invite people to step into a big picture always. And Jeff taught me that as well. I really love it. And benefits of a pay plan. You know, we, as far as any company in this profession, we pay out more in payout monies to our team members, our partners in the field, than any company of this type. So I'm going to invite you to not only know the marketing model, but just fall in love with it. It can be anything you want it to be. It can create in your life anything you want it to create. Fall in love with the power of it. Be proud to show it and to tell it, because it has provided not only additional support, stress relief for people, huge careers, you know, it has so much to offer. Discover what other people want in their life and then wrap this pay plan around it. Help people translate those numbers into real life experiences. When we talk about the story, that's the power and importance of the story. The first thing on my list was I wanted a prom dress for my daughter and I couldn't afford it and I needed it pretty quickly. So it was the first thing that showed up, but I also wanted a college education for my children, which even teaching in a university, I couldn't afford. So really it's helped people by listening to what their desires are, what they want, not so much what they need, but what do they want? What are the fears that they have that you want to help them find solutions for? And then wrap this pay plan around those things. Important too, to stay connected to your people. And now more so than ever, you know, we feel like, in a sense, it's almost an artificial sense of being connected when you think about, you know, all the wonderful ways we can stay connected. Here we're on Zoom, and that's amazing because I can see you, and that's wonderful in this day and age. But, you know, make sure you try to do those things where you manage to get to see people in person, or you talk to them in person. Stay connected to people because that's huge. And then the other, and I found this very important in my whole career, and if I've got something to share with you that I think will make a difference going forward, is create traditions in your organization to make sure that you stay connected and that you create a big vision together. So what are the things that, and I would call this the infrastructure or the framework of my business, and then I fill in the rest, but the infrastructure, the framework always stays the same. For one thing, we've had a Monday night call every Monday night. Jeff and I started that 32 years ago, okay? 32 years ago, we got a little team, it was a very little team, on the line, and he was on what was called a speaker box in those days because there was nothing like this. And so, because he was a distance from me, and we have now gathered with our team every Monday night. We stay connected, we do recognition. Today we'll have anywhere from 800 to 1,000 people on the line, but it's the consistency. If you're going to write down a word that you want to live at the top of, you know, the top of your brain as far as your business, it's consistency of effort. So my Monday night call, I'm in my chair on Monday night regardless now for 32 years, and they know that I'm going to be there. We welcome everybody in the pre-call so that we get to at least touch, you know, our people across the country and the world. I also, once my people begin to grow into sales coordinators, and, you know, we're all trying to grow up, I started having what I call a leadership call. Today, that's my national marketing director team. We meet every Monday morning. We've not missed a Monday morning now for 25 years. And that is our strategy time. You don't have to be a national marketing director to do that. You just do it with the people who want to be leadership, and eventually it grows into the national marketing director team. We have done recognition every year with a big party at conference called the Gimme Awards, where we recognize and, you know, give people awards for growth, and we give away money and we do fun things. And this has been going on with now 25 years. And then we have something called Q School, where Jeff and we did it virtually the last two, but we would meet in Memphis for our leadership, our up and growing leadership. And it was our 20th year this year. So this is the framework or the foundation, the infrastructure that's in place, and then you put other things in between. Excuse me. It's my fourth call today, and I think I may need a drink of water. Also, you want to set up for duplication. And the only way I feel like you can create duplication is you do the paying activities that you want to see other people do. People are going to do what you do, whatever it is. So if you're looking for your team to perform, then you want to do the activity. I can say that about Jeff. His focus was always to be the very best distributor as far as his activity, his modeling. You're modeling for people all the time. You are the model. And so we often hear this, the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. Well, if the pace of the leader is one that is consistent. It's, you know, really doing that consistent effort. And it doesn't mean that it has to be all out 24 hours a day. It's consistent, it's paying activities, consistent paying activities. So people do see, they do what they see, not what they hear. So it's not to say, oh, here, you know, do this, do this. If they don't see you doing it, they're not going to do it. And also, as you begin to put team together, and then as you grow through your career putting team together, something that's been very powerful for me is that how do you figure out who is a leader? How do you identify a leader? Because your time is the most valuable commodity you have. And every morning you get up and hopefully you take it to the best place to get the best return. So you want your time to pay you well. And so it's important. And again, I'm going to credit Jeff for, he's always had a good sense for that, you know, as far as identifying who is going to do it. And as I watched and began to figure this out, this is what I learned, is that I watch the person closely in the beginning. I make sure that, you know, I've given them, answered their questions, given them all the information they've requested as far as how our business works. But for the most part, you know, people who are going to be leaders, once they have that information, they may be skeptical, they may have a lot of questions, but they don't keep asking you the same question over and over. They begin to take those things they've learned and implement them. The most important thing a leader will do, the most important, and this is where I judge where I put my time, is a leader wants to put you in front of everybody they can find to tell the business story to. Now you have to tell the product story at the same time. So that's a natural, okay? That's going to happen. But they want you to talk to everybody to help them build their team. So when I have somebody that's doing that, I'm on that constantly, okay? Because that's where it happens, right there. And then the third thing is, before long, if the person is going to really be a leader, they want to be doing that with their own team. They want to, we used to say, they want to have the pen in their hand. They want to be the one giving the instructions. They want to be the one telling the story for their people. So when I sit down with a new person, and this is the extension of this, how to identify a leader, I'm going to tell them what I've just told you. This is how you identify a leader. And then if they're leaders, they're going to do exactly what I've just told them to do, which is they're going to put me in front of everybody they can find. And I always know when that's happening that we're going to National Marketing Director, because that new man enthusiasm happens right there in that first energy burst. Now, some people, they break out with a lot of people right away as team members. Other people, it's 2 or 3, and then it's consistent, though. It's consistent. It's consistent. As long as they're putting you in front of people. Now, this can be virtually, of course, today, most of it is virtual. It can be in person. It can be over the phone. It can be building for events so that, you know, this happens. But that putting you in front of people is the key. Now, if I have a person who's saying all the right things, you know, I want this, I'm going to do this, but they never quite get to it, that's going to cost you in the long run. So usually I'll say, whenever, you know, I'll ask, is there a problem that you're not putting me in front of people to tell the business story to? And so if there's still skepticism, I'll ask, is there something that you're, because unless we can really get past that, can't go forward with a full heart. So if I can identify it, we can get past it. If not, I'm probably going to say something to the effect that, you know, whenever you're ready, I'll leave the light on for you. You know, I'll be here. You just call me. So it's really sifting through with those, for me, those directions. What I apply to myself is whoever's putting me in front of people is where my time and energy goes. And I tell my team that, you know, if you don't get them, I will. Okay, I'm out there. And if I'm not out there, Jeff will be out there and he might get them. So I better get them first. Okay, because there are people everywhere. So those are very powerful things, I think. And then the other thing I would like to share with you, again, is that our product speaks for itself. Huge research, great results over all these years. That's taken care of. You have the best thing to work with. Our pay plan pays more than anyone in this profession. So people are going to make money. But then it's that part about how do you handle that guy in your head? You know that you have more conversation with yourself in your life than any other person. You are the one that is having the conversation with you in your head all the time. So I found for myself, that is my biggest challenge is, how do I make sure that the conversation is such that I am in what Jeff calls, a real high state, I guess you would say, or being in state, because people are going to respond to the energy. As I talked today to Sarah and Shannon, the energy felt so good. It was like, oh, I wish I were in UK right now. I could go to one of their presentations and that would just feel so good. So that's going to be a very important thing, but it brings you a lot of happiness. You see, that's the other part, is you feel happy when you're in that state. People respond to happiness. They respond to things that feel good. They want to feel good, and especially at this time in life. So I have 2 or 3 people that I really consider mentors. Jim Rohn, if you ever heard of him, he was a great business philosopher for this profession. Jeff and I knew him personally before he passed. We were lucky to have trainings with him. And then a few others that I really, where I keep myself as far as reading and what I'm immersed in as far as books. And it would be Joseph Murphy. I'll share that with you, The Power of the Subconscious Mind and Gratitude. But just to say a few words here that Jim Rohn, I think, was really right on. Humans have a remarkable ability to get exactly what they must have. When I was teaching university, I taught incoming freshmen. And in one of the books that we started with, it shared that we as humans use about 2% of our brain power. You have so much gray matter up there that has such power. I think that so many of us, we play too small. We play too small in life. We could play so much bigger. And so I'm striving for that all the time. I want to live at the highest edge of my existence, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, mentally. I want it all. So let's go for that, because we all have so much more than we realize. So humans have a remarkable ability to get exactly what they must have. When you know what you want and you want it badly enough, you'll find a way to get it because you have the brain power to do it. So it's like, what do you feel you deserve in life? That's an important question. And that's shaped by so much of our upbringing and, our society and things like that. So you want to really look at, what do you feel you deserve? Because you're going to reach the level of what you deserve. So you can stretch that. The ultimate thief of any future success, and if I could say anything to you today that I think would make the biggest difference, it would be this. The ultimate thief is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk. Now, we come by this honestly. It's not a defect that, we're saddled with forever, but we come by it honestly, because what happens? You turn on the news, you listen to conversations, all of these things. Today in this world, we know that it's constant negative bombardment all day long. It comes from every direction. It comes from the people reporting the news to each other. And there's never just one commentator, there are 2. So they validate all day long. This is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. A successful future cannot afford the luxury of one negative thought. Think what a challenge that is, though. So if you're going to be the gatekeeper, and this is something I really believe, I say it to my organization all the time, I've talked to myself about it. If you're going to really have a successful future, whether it's this business or just life in general, you have to be the gatekeeper at the door of your mind. You have to be the one who says, I'm not going to accept negative entry here in this mind, and really be in control of it. Successful people look for the possibilities. Unsuccessful people see the problems or look for the problems. The conversation you're having with yourself in your head is what makes the choice. So you want to really monitor that conversation. Your opportunity really doesn't lie in the product, the marketing plan, the company, your upline, your downline. It lies in your ability to see the possibilities instead of the problems and act on those possibilities. So attitude and self-talk go hand in hand. How do you maximize a winning attitude and ensure positive self-talk? It's done by what you feed your mind and therefore your subconscious on a daily basis. So we're taking in everything, whether we realize it or not, whether it's conversation or not, it's all coming in. We've got this master computer, you know, there's nothing on the earth like the brain, and it's logging it in. So what goes into your mind affects your thinking affects your performance affects your entire future. So where do I work at keeping my mind? And I have to do it because, like everybody, it wants to drift into the fear side where we have a lot we feel to be concerned about. One of the books that I came across early on, and you can see the pages on this are yellow, but the book I have at least 4 or 5 of these over the years. I think this one I picked up in the year 2000, and it was written somewhere in the 60s. But it's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. This gave me whole new insight as to me being in control of what I was thinking. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's possible. And so that's exciting. The other is he has 2 or 3 other books. Think Yourself Rich is one. And it's not just monetary or financial wealth. It's, you know, everything, all in life, you know, really being physically wealthy as far as your health is concerned, you know, spiritually wealthy, financial is part of it, emotionally wealthy. All of these things go into, you know, really making a difference as far as your life is concerned. And then this one, which is, I came across this actually in London in 1992, before you were all born, of course. Okay. And anyway, I love this book, and I've given it to many of my team members, and it's Louise Hay is the author, and the name of it is Gratitude. And she has a wonderful place in the back. It's really just little shorts on, you know, people talking about things that they're grateful for. And in the very back, she has, you know, a place where every morning when you first wake up and right before you go to sleep at night, you want to write down the things you're grateful for, from the smallest to the largest. Now, it could be the bed's really comfortable. I'm so happy I've gotten to the bed tonight, okay? To my family is safe and they're healthy and they're well, and I'm blessed for so many reasons. And I found that this one thing has brought me more happiness than anything else I've ever done for myself. But it also brings you a great deal of prosperity because it puts you in a positive mindset. So now you're ready, you know, you're ready to handle the day. You're ready to bring that, you know, happy energy to people that they respond to. You're ready for that. And she also, if I can find it right quickly, there's something she says in here that I just love. And it's really, again, it's that thought process. I have noticed that the universe loves gratitude. And if you think about universally, everything kind of acts in the same way. We don't realize that always, but it does. She says, I've noticed the more grateful you are, the more goodies you get. When I say goodies, I don't mean only those material things. I mean all the people, places, and experiences that make life so wonderful and worth living. You know how great you feel when your life is filled with love and joy and health and creativity. And so then she goes on to talk about the universe is really generous and it's an abundant giver and it loves to be appreciated. So appreciation is a very important word, and it's an important word when it comes to working with your teams as well. But I love this paragraph in particular. Think about how great you feel when you give a friend a present. If the person looks at it and her face just falls and she says, oh, it's not my size, or that's not really something, it's not my color. I never use anything like that, or then I'm sure you have little desire to buy something else. It turned out to be a bad feeling instead of a good one. But on the other hand, think about you give someone a gift and their eyes just dance with delight. They're so pleased and thankful. They just love it. Then every time you see something that you think that person would like, you would almost want to have it for them. So you would really want to have that same feeling again. Gratitude brings the same thing about when you think about it on a universal level. So if you're in gratitude, it increases the abundance in your life. And the universe always gives us what we believe we deserve. So, when I think about working on myself, it's really, how do I make sure that I stay in that positive state? Because that has done as much to really enhance and create the strength in my business, I feel, as all the other techniques and things that we do to make our business work as far as paying activities. And so it's a very important part of really keeping yourself in a state that is prosperous. It's a prosperous state to be in. So Jeff, probably shouldn't, I'll talk the whole time. That's the thing. I could talk to you. I'll say, I'll do anything if you'll just let me go.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. I mean, so many nuggets, guys. Give Cheryl some love on the chat. Lots of great content. I know Sarah and Shannon, you guys have recorded this call, so we'll make it available to the team if you guys want to listen to it over and over again. Repetition is the mother of all skills. It's not when you remember, it's when you can't forget. And this is wisdom from 30 plus years in the business, 3 decades. This is where all of you want to be with your Juice Plus career. Think about this. Here you are, young and building your business. And what an example, a role model of somebody that's built a successful business with Juice Plus, and it's still paying residual income 30 plus years later. So very, very exciting. Lots of wisdom, 200 plus marketing directors. You heard the story and all these wonderful success tips. So at this point, we want to be respectful for everyone's time. I do want to tell you guys this, the kids are back in school now. Let's tear up that list of excuses. Let's get in go mode. Let's get our foot on the gas. Let's make September, October, November, and December our best months ever. Let's roll that momentum into the big conference you guys have coming up in October, right? You want to load up the dance, so you do the basics and the fundamentals every day. And Cheryl gave you some wonderful stuff for your mindset and how to build this business and stay consistent. So with that, Sarah, Shannon, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you, Cheryl. Wonderful. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. And thank you for coming on and sharing with the team here tonight over in the UK.
My joy. I loved it. Thank you so much for having me.
And you look beautiful, by the way. You have the Juice Plus glow. You're always glowing.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. I'm not going to ever be able to leave this room.
So I'll turn it back over to you, ladies.
Yeah, Cheryl, I second that. You look absolutely amazing. And honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we cannot thank you enough. We know you must be a really busy lady. And so for you to give up your time tonight and share all of that incredible, amazing tips and information with us, we're really, really, really super grateful. Show some more love in the comments, guys. And, just to sort of touch on what Jeff said, kids are back to school next week or this week, if you're lucky. I'm joking. Kids are back to school soon. We've tried our best throughout the summer holidays, but it is time to drop all the excuses. We have got Re-September starting on Wednesday. I know everyone's really excited about this. If you've got your hula hoops, pop a comment to let us know. Pop hoop in the chat if you're ready to roll with your hula hoops. No pun intended. But do you know what, guys? We're going back to basics, and we are going back to what we know works for us, which is getting on plan, getting the amazing results, be excited, come together as a team, you know, really build this incredible momentum heading into September. And, you know, once we are on plan and you're getting results, just exactly like Cheryl was saying the whole way through this call, it's 90% in your mindset. If you believe you can, you will. And when you're looking after yourself and you're on plan and you're training and you're up early and you're doing your self-development, everything else is going to fall into place. So if it's meant to be, it's up to me, and it's time to drop all of those excuses, really, really put your foot on the gas now. The next 4 months for us are going to be, you know, life-changing if we all time it right as we head into the new year. We have got September, we've got the October convention, then we've got this incredible momentum from the October convention for November and December, and then we go into January strong for the team takeover. And I want you to pop in the chat what position you are going to be going for this January, and just we're ready to absolutely smash it, make ourselves proud, make Jeff proud. And just as Cheryl said, which I absolutely love, you have to expect success. So get to work, expect success, and let's make it the best 4 months we have ever had as a team.
Thank you for having us, guys, and thank you for jumping on and being amazing guest speakers. I'm exactly the same, and I wrote that down as well, and I circled it: expect success, expect success. So let's go away, let's smash the rest of this month. There's still a day left, and thank you everyone for jumping on tonight. We appreciate you all.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
Thank
you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye, guys.